Okay, we're going to review some stuff about generics in Java and implementing Java interfaces. So in this example, we're going to implement one of the Java library interfaces. And I just want to reinforce that like computer scientists are people. All the stuff in the Java API, like just humans wrote that. Okay, so we've seen generics before. So here I have array lists that can hold strings or dogs or animals. And in those angle brackets, we were able to specify what type of object my array list was going to hold. Okay, similar to that, on the bottom now, I've got the same array list on the right-hand side, but on the left-hand side, I'm actually using an interface type. So list is an interface, and array list is a class that implements the list interface. So we can have a static reference, that's the type of the reference, that's of that interface type. And then when we're writing code, maybe right now we're using array list, but later on we could swap out an array list with anything else that implements the list interface and it would still work. And again, here's the Java API. So my class array list, you can see all implemented interfaces, it implements the list interface. And we can click on that to see what it contains. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a class that implements the interface map. And map is a Java interface, and it's really their dictionary. So it maps from keys to values. And we can look at its methods. Most important for us, it has things like is empty and put and remove. So here in Eclipse, I'm going to start and call mine awesome map, and it's going to implement the map interface. And remember that map interface took in the types that we would use, and I always forget implements, and it would be a key and a value. For someone when they're creating an awesome map, they need to be able to specify what those types are of K and V. So my awesome map also needs to take in types K and V. Additionally, I spelled implements wrong. I'm so sorry. We have to do a few things to resolve some compilation errors. First, I need to import the map API. So here I'm importing map from java.util. And now remember, when we implement an interface, we have to provide all of the methods that are provided by that interface. So here we can click add unimplemented methods, and it's going to give us all these methods that have to exist inside inside of a class that implements the map interface. And again, these are variables for the type that the awesome map is going to hold. So we can refactor these, and actually maybe we want to name this key type as a sort of more intuitive name. But again, no matter what I call it, it sort of doesn't matter because it's a variable. The variable name is just designed to be helpful for us as humans. Okay, so now my awesome map takes in two types, a key type and a value type. Key is what you search with, value is what you find. And if I'm going to use the key type to search, I actually want that key type to be something that implements the comparable interface. Okay, here's the comparable interface, and all it's got in it is the method compare to. So that's the one where it's 0 if the input and the original thing are equal. And we can see like a lot of classes implement it. Some common ones are string implements it. I'm guessing integer class implements it. Yep, there it is. Okay, so let's go back to Eclipse. So I want this key type to be a type that must implement the comparable interface. And a bit counterintuitively, we write that as it must extends comparable. And because comparable is a parameterized interface, we also have to say what type of thing it should be able to compare something to. And here we just want to be able to compare two things of the same type. So what this sentence means here is key type must be a class that implements the comparable interface. And interfaces are just a list of methods, and then when you implement that interface, you have to provide all of those methods in your class. And comparable gave us a value that was less than 0, 0, or bigger than 0. And you can imagine it's super helpful if we're implementing a binary search tree to be able to create an ordering of elements using that compare to method. Let me run through what we just did. So I made the awesome map that implements the map interface. Map interface was an interface provided by the Java API. Because the map interface is parameterized, I needed to parameterize my awesome map so I can specify the type it takes in. Then I could add all the unimplemented methods, because to implement the map interface, I have to implement all of those methods. I could rename those variables, so those parameterized types, those were just variables that can then hold a type. And now you can see an example where I've created an awesome map that holds integers and strings. So inside of my awesome map, my K for the specific map right here, K would be type integer and V would be type string. And inside my awesome map, there was a method put, and you can see it took in something of type K and something of type V. So in the case where of my map, I would need to pass an integer as the first argument and a string is the second argument, and put is just add. So we just talked through this in the example of awesome map, but in this homework assignment, we're going to be using binary search tree where key type extends comparable key type. And that was just like how in the list class, we needed data type to extend comparable.